Hey everybody, it's Kyle Dine here from Equal Eats, and I am so thrilled to be joined by Liljia Polo-Richards from Allergy Companions today. Hey Lilia, how are you doing?
I'm very good, thank you. How about you?
Oh, good, thanks. So we are thrilled to feature you as an equalizer because you are literally leveling the playing field for the free from and food allergy community through your amazing website, Allergy Companions. So before we get into Allergy Companions, what's it all about? Perhaps you could talk a little bit about yourself and, what's your own personal connection to food allergy?
Of course. So that is a question that I get asked a lot. So I don't have any food allergies myself, but my son and my daughter have both a food allergy. So my son Francesco is allergic to tree nuts, and my daughter Cleo is allergic to fish.
Okay, so tree nuts and fish, and both children with food allergies. That can
Yes.
be a lot to manage. So I'm assuming I feel why you went down this road to start Allergy Companions, but maybe you can explain what was the need that you found and why something like this was needed.
Of course. So the trigger for Allergy Companions really started just over a year ago when I went on holiday to an area of England called Norfolk. And I booked to go to a restaurant. I told them at various points, when I booked before we went on the day and on the day that my son had a nut allergy and all of our food had to be nut free. And then my dish arrived and my chicken looked covered in what looked like nuts. So I called the waiter over, asked him what was on my plate and asked him if it was nuts. He wasn't sure and he didn't think it was nuts. So at which point I said, please take my plate away immediately because obviously I need an answer. He disappeared for about 20 minutes and then he came back to say, yes, the chef wanted to confirm it's nuts. At which point I was obviously fuming and so was my husband. But I suppose what that did was made us realize how vulnerable people with allergies really are when dining out. And so James and I sort of were really upset all day. We were really, we felt it was a real setback for us as a family. So that evening, we put the kids to bed and asked ourselves, what can we do so that this doesn't have to be our life? So that's when we came up with the concept of Allergy Companions. So
Wonderful. And I think, our community can relate to that on so many levels where we've all been in a situation where it already takes so much to go out and feel confident dining when you have a food allergy. And I think that's taken for granted by the hospitality industry that we're going out on a limb to even be there. And then when it doesn't go well and it doesn't meet our expectations of safety, it's so deflating and
exactly.
it sets us back. So I'm sorry you went
Absolutely, it
through.
makes you feel vulnerable, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And so I love that you took this problem that so many of us have unfortunately gone through and you did something about it. So tell us about Allergy Companions, what it does and how it's unique.
Of course. So Allergy Companions is effectively what I always call it's a bit the equivalent of TripAdvisor, but for the allergy and celiac community. So it's a very simple concept. You go on the website, you either want to leave a review for a restaurant or a cafe or a pub or hotel, whatever it is that sells food effectively. Search for the name of the place. So I don't know, Pizza Express, London Bridge, as an example. I think there is one there, but I'm making it up. And then the name of the place comes up, and then you go through the review process. You give them a rating from 1 to 5 hearts, one being okay, but actually really bad, to 5 hearts, which is exceptional. And then you submit all your details, and at the end, it gives you the option to submit the review. And it's very simple. Or, for example, say you are coming to the UK or you live in the UK and you want to eat in London, then you search for London and it brings up all of the options. And then at that point, you can actually select your allergens if you wanted to be a bit more specific, not just see what's being reviewed, but you could say, actually, I can't eat gluten, therefore you select gluten. And it also gives you the option to see what restaurants don't use that particular allergen in that kitchen. which for a lot of people is a really nice selling point, I suppose, because I know a lot of people, for example, with a nut allergy that feel really worried going to a place that actually handles nuts in the kitchen. And although restaurants say there may still be, you know, may contain, actually, I know for us as a family, it's really nice to go to a restaurant that doesn't handle nuts, for example, even if some products might have a may contain. In a nice possible way, it's a huge relief. And even if the restaurant has to check a couple of products, it's a really, you know, small thing. And then the other thing is, you know, restaurant themselves can also register their details with our website and, you know, promote themselves further so that people can find them effectively.
Wonderful. I love that it's so tailored to our community. And you said that it's like TripAdvisor for food allergy. And I admit, I used to use TripAdvisor before going to new places, and I'd go to their reviews and I just put in the search the word allergy just to kind of get a feel of what people were saying about a certain place, whether it was good or bad. And it was a lot of searching and a lot of digging through comments from people who maybe just kind of mentioned it in passing. And with your service, it seems like you're building this really unique community of people who are making that extra effort to really provide valuable information to people that's credible and firsthand. And I'm just curious, how has that been going with getting people to leave those authentic reviews? How's it going?
I mean, it's amazing actually, because I think the difference with the other platform is that people who take the time to leave a review, you know, it sometimes read reviews that I could have written myself, because ultimately when you eat out with allergies, you want to make sure that you can get the allergen information you need, that the waiter or the waitress is responsive, attentive, the chef gets it, they check and double check things. And it's so lovely to receive reviews from people that care about the same things as I do, as you do. So I think that is why the platform is so important, because it's actually purposeful and it's written and used by like-minded people who all want the same thing. And I think it's so nice that people are really buying into the concept. And it's helped us as a family find places that we didn't know existed. Before launching a website, we didn't know that restaurants are now going nut-free, or they're removing sesame or gluten or whatever other allergens. They're making themselves more allergy-friendly. And I think it's been a real, I suppose, a real revelation for us as a family too. And it's helped us pick places where we had great experiences.
And I love that it provides people with transparency, which at the end of the day, there's only so much you can guarantee about a restaurant. And I think it's great that you do provide some standardized information of what is not on the menu or what is on the menu, but also that intangible review that comes from someone's heart, their experience.
Exactly.
That I think for me personally, with all my multiple allergies, that's what I'm really looking for, is that transparency of how did you feel? Did you feel safe? You know, there's turnover at restaurants, and to get someone's firsthand opinion that they take allergies seriously there, that gives a great starting point to get in the door. And then, you know, we take over our own spiel and our own ownership to manage accordingly. But it gives you such a great starting point.
It's at least a starting point, isn't it? Yeah, and the other thing I would say, that what's really important, I always say to people, please don't just rely on that one review you find. If you then go and try it yourself, tell others how your experience was, because chances are that your experience will also be good. But it could be that the restaurant has let itself down over time and staff have changed or the policies have changed. So it's really important to keep that information current, but also real, you know. My experience might be different from yours. So I think it helps achieve more balanced views of places. And it helps people make an informed decision. You know, ultimately, you find a review on the website. It's up to you whether you want to try it. And if you do decide to try it, you know, you are entitled to your own opinion.
You're solving such a great problem for a community. Like it's just so important to have this starting point to, instead of just knocking on doors, going around your town, this really lays out a roadmap of places that people have been and tried before. And if anything, you're connecting trailblazers to our wider community to feel safer when they dine out.
Completely.
So, I hope it keeps growing and growing, and there's more
Thank you so
places that
much.
are put out there. How can people help? How can we learn more? How can we support Allergy Companions?
Well, I think the key thing is don't keep all your experience and information to yourself. Sharing it on the website means that it's on a platform that keeps growing, that is there for everybody to use, and it's going to help other people and it's going to help you. So obviously, a lot of people like blogging on Instagram or talking on Facebook groups. So that's just, one element where you can share information. The website is a resource that keeps growing and it needs everybody's support. So we're a great community. And I think by getting everybody together and supporting each other, that's really the way for the platform to really benefit everybody. And even things like chains, just because a chain tends to have a good reputation, doesn't mean that everybody knows that that chain has a good reputation. But also, as I see quite often, there are chains that have a good reputation, but then they let themselves down in some locations. And so, it's always important to share any information that you do have, because actually, you might save a diner from eating at a place that's not going to look after them that day. And they might end up going somewhere where they can have a great experience. So all I ask people is to take the time to visit the website, share their experiences. If they find a place that's been reviewed and they try it, leave your own review, and also tell other people in the community, but also outside the community, about the website, because you might help someone who didn't know our platform existed, and you might make their day.
That's it. It's all about paying it forward, and I think we have such a wonderful community for that. When you do have that amazing experience, you don't forget it, and it's so important to not just hold it inside, but share that. And this is such a great platform to do so, where it's going to have a wide reach to a direct audience. So it's allergycompanions.com, correct?
Absolutely. That's right.
allergycompanions.com. You're on Instagram and all the other social channels. So everybody watching, please follow them and support them just by, if you have great experiences or negative experiences, it's all really important to get out there and help our community feel safer. So Liljia, thank you so much for your time, and
Thank
we
you.
really appreciate you and all of your efforts for the food allergy community. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you, Kyle.
Thanks.